everyone and welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. Today I'm going to film a chit chat sort of get ready with me video. I don't know how I got these videos, it was kind of weird. Today I just filmed this look that I'm wearing right now. It's sort of like bronzy, coppery, smoky eyes and a sort of dark, bold nude lip. If you want to see how I achieved this makeup look, then please keep on watching. Okay, so first things first, I just want you guys to excuse the freaking noise from my neighbors. It's so annoying. I'm just gonna put some lip balm on my lips because we're going to be wearing a matte lip and that's quite drying, so just any lip balm will do for that. I'm just gonna go in with this matte strobe cream. I freaking love this product. Basically it's like a hydrating cream and it has lots of shimmer, sparkle, I don't know, but basically it just makes your skin feel freaking awesome and it also just primes your skin really nicely for foundation. Oh, mirror, I need a mirror. So we're just gonna, I'm actually running out of this. This is an expensive product, I'm not gonna lie. And we're just gonna apply that to our whole face and it's just gonna make your face feel so freaking nice and smooth and hydrated and all of that fun stuff. This product. Now this product is like going crazy in the makeup world on YouTube at the moment that I've noticed, and Nikki Tutorials sort of started that trend. It is the Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm Insensitive. And we're going to be using this as a primer. Well, I'm going to be using this as a primer. You can use whatever primer you would like to use. Basically, she's discovered this because it has an ingredient called glycerin in it. One of the main ingredients. And glycerin is a product that helps things stick together. And so it's going to help your foundation last a whole lot longer and just make it, you know, stay put. So you don't want to use too much. You kind of just want to use, whoop, that's too much. That's actually a little bit too much, but you just want to rub it between your fingers and apply it all over your face. You might smell like a man, but it's fine. It's fine. And at first it's going to be really quite smooth on your skin, but when you keep like working at it and rubbing it in, it's going to become tacky. And that's what we want, is when it's tacky, because it's going to make your foundation look flawless. You literally might sit here for about 3 minutes, I'm not kidding. Okay, now that it's all tacky and nice, that's what you want. I'm actually gonna go a little bit overboard and use another primer. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. Smashbox are really well known for their primers. All their primers are great. I just like this one because that's just the one that I bought. And I'm actually just gonna use it in my problem areas. So around my nose, whoop, there's a hair. There's a hair. Around my problem areas, so I'm just going to dab it on the sides of my nose, on my forehead, and just around my mouth, just because I get laugh lines and creasing and whatnot throughout there. And I'm actually just going to dab it in, so it's kind of going to just fill the pores in and just make your foundation look that little bit more smooth over those areas. Okay, so for today's makeup, I really wanted to go back to an oldie, but well, not old, but one of my older favorites. Nothing new that I've discovered. And it's the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation. I'm in the shade Mont Blanc, which is just a pale ivory shade because I'm pasty as hell. And I'm just going to be using a really dirty ass, well, it looks dirty. I actually just did clean it, but I just need a new one so bad. Blending sponge, and this one's by Chi Chi. I just really don't want to fork out the money to get an actual beauty blender, so I'm going to use this bad boy. Do clean your beauty blender in between use. I mean, they're pretty hard to clean if you don't clean them because it just soaks in and stains it. I'm just going to pour a little bit of this out on the back of my hand. Wants to come out, and make sure your beauty blender is quite damp, so you just want to rinse it under water wring it out, and yeah. So I'm actually just gonna go in and start dabbing that in the middle of my face. The reason why I want to start in the middle of my face and work outwards is because you don't want as much product sort of clogging, or I don't know how to say it, just sticking in your hairline and whatnot. You want to focus on the areas that you really want a fuller coverage. And so for me, I like to start in the middle of my face where I've got more problem areas and sort of just blend it out, and you get a nicer finish that way. And you literally just have to keep blending. Like, just blend until your hand's sore. That freaking noise! Stop! Of course I want to do that when I want to film a video, and I haven't even filmed in a very long time. Now we're just going to conceal the problem areas of our face. I keep saying ow and stuff, like I'm actually like, I don't even know. Does that sound weird? This is my favorite concealer of all time. Like, I haven't tried every single concealer, but I've tried a lot of freaking concealers, and I just love this one so much. This is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and I'm in the shade NC15. And the reason why I love this concealer so much is because in the areas that I place it, it just does not crease. Like, as long as I set it with a powder and whatnot, it just stays put for so long, and I just love it. And it's just like, it doesn't feel too cakey either. So I use this in quite a lot of areas of my face, just because why not? And I'm just going to start by putting that on the problem areas of my chin, down the bridge of my nose, a little bit on my forehead as well, and then we'll go under the eyes as well. And I like to go slightly overboard with it. I don't know why, I just do. So I'm just going to blend that in as well with the same beauty blender sponge or whatever you're using. Don't worry about your eyelids at this point, because I like to carve out my eyebrows, and so we're going to do that in a second. Okay, now for eyebrows, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Brow Wiz. And I'm in the shade medium brown. I have to say, I think I want the dark one. Don't know why, I just do. When I go to the tail, I feel like it looks a little bit too light. If you don't know what this product is, which you probably will if you watch a lot of YouTube videos, it basically has a spoolie on one end and a retractable cream pencil on the other end. So first I'm just going to go in and brush through the eyebrow hairs. Just sort of develop a shape that you want to, you know, work with. And then on the other end I'm going to just wind it up, and I'm going to start. This is how I like to do it. I like to start sort of at the top of the brow, not at the start, but just sort of a third of the way in. And I like to just start carving out my shape that I want. And just with light strokes, you want to just start to fill it in. A lot of people make the mistake and they go a lot, I can't talk. A lot of people make the mistake and go too heavy-handed, like straight in with the eyebrow pencil. What you want to do is, with a light hand, just sort of develop the brush strokes. Otherwise, you're going to have some pretty, you know, full-on brows, which, if that's your thing, that's fine. But I like a more, not natural, but more shaped brow that's not really dark. When I get to the end, I like to sort of, not the end, the arch, I like to develop a bit of an arch. If you make a mistake, don't really worry about it, because you're going to go in and carve it out anyway, and you can sort of go over where you've overdrawn. And then when you get to the tail, I like to go underneath the arch, just define that a little bit more, and then bring it down to the tail. And then you just want to kind of join the two lines and lightly feather it out. With the tail, the trick is that you have to go with a lighter hand, should I say, and just bring it to sort of like a point. Once you've done that, you can go back into the front and just sort of fill it in where you want to. I like to have the front more sparse, but still sort of square in shape. So I'm just going to draw a fine line underneath, follow the natural hair strokes upwards. Then at the top I'm just going to draw another fine line and join it with the rest of the brow. And that will give you a nice natural sort of front to your brow. Make sure you blend that line upwards though, because otherwise you're just going to have a random line and like a really sparse area. And then what you can do is with the other end, like with the spoolie, you can just brush through the brow and brush downwards. And that's sort of how I do my eyebrows. Okay, so now that we've got our brows, you know, nice and drawn on and shaped, I'm going to go in with a Morphe brush. This is just like a flat sort of concealer brush. I'm going to go in with the same Pro Longwear concealer and I'm just going to carve out the eyebrows, bring it down onto my lid because I actually like to use this concealer to prime my eyelids for the eyeshadow as well. So that's what we're going to do. I don't actually know what this brush is called. I'm really sorry. It doesn't have a number on it or a name. Basically, I got like a big set of Morphe brushes, which I can leave in the description down below if you want to go purchase it for yourself. This brush was just as part of the kit. I'm sure it has a name. I just don't know what it is. So we're going to start doing that. I'm just going to get a little pump of the concealer on the back of my hand. You don't need much. A little goes a long way. So just with that and with the brush, and you're just going to start carving a nice defined shape. Because if you have any sparse eyebrows or a line that you drew on that you're not happy with, you can sort of go over those and make it a lot nicer. So that's what I'm going to start to do here. I like to start underneath and just carve out that bottom arch and then bring it down to the tail as well. And then just go to the front. You see how that gives you a nice crisp line? You can blend it out as well, obviously, but just makes them look a lot cleaner. I'm going to go down the tail and just clean that up. And then I like to go up top as well and just clean up the lines. Make this a lot more square. And all over the eyelid as well. So once you've done that, you can go back in with your Beauty Blender sponge and just blend that out. So now that I've just carved my eyebrows out and filled them in and shaped them and all that fun stuff, and I'm happy with them, I'm just going to set everything. So I'm going in with this Australis AC on Tour contouring and highlighting kit, and I'm just mixing these two shades here, and I'm just going to apply that all over the lid up to the brow just to set everything in place. And it's also going to make it a lot easier when you go in with a blending brush and you're trying to blend out your eyeshadow. If you don't sort of set the eye primer or concealer or whatever you're using with a powder, you're going to find that it's going to be a lot harder to blend your eyeshadows out. I'm also just going to take those two shades underneath my eye and just set any concealer that I've placed underneath my eye as well. I'm also just going to set my face with this NYX HD finishing powder. It's just a pressed translucent finishing powder. And can I just say, I love NYX products. Like, for the price and whatnot, it is just such nice quality. I'm just using this Morphe brush, again from the same brush kit that I have. Don't know the name of it. It's just a round fluffy brush. And I'm just taking some of this product and I'm just going to be applying that all over to the areas where I've placed foundation, so my whole face pretty much, just to set everything in place. You don't want to go overboard with this because I'm wanting sort of more of a fresh look, nothing too powdery. And you're just going to set your whole entire face so that nothing moves throughout the day. Literally nothing will cover this set. It's just so annoying. Why must you be a volcano on my face? You know when you can feel a hair on your face, but you don't want to ruin everything you've just done? That's me right now. Okay, so next what I'm going in with is this MAC matte bronzer. This is limited edition packaging. You can't get it anymore, so I'm really sorry about that. But basically the matte bronzer is still available in like the normal MAC packaging. So I'm going to be using this Morphe angled brush just to chisel out my cheekbones and make them look pretty and stuff. What I've started doing lately that I actually think works better for my facial structure, and it might work for you as well, is just that instead of going a bit lower, because you're blending it out, it can drag a bit lower than what you probably want. And sometimes you can find that the definition, you know, isn't where you want it to be. So what I like to do now is take a little bit higher, and that way when you blend it out, it's going to create a line more precise to where you probably want it, because often when you put it where you think you want it, it's going to blend downwards, and we don't want that. So I'm just going to go in with a light line. I'm going to sort of place the brush above my ear and match it to the corner of my lip. And that's sort of where I want to take the line and where I want to blend it out as well. So just start light, because you can always add more, you just can't take away. So with bronzer, you don't want to go too crazy, because then it can start to look quite muddy and yeah, you know. I'm also just going to take it on my forehead as well, and just a little bit on my jawline. So you want to just kind of start and bring it down just to bronze up the face. Literally can't do makeup without getting something in my eyeball. Moving on, I'm going to use this MAC blush in Trace Gold. It's basically just like a really warm bronzy gold blush. It's kind of like a bronzer. A little bit goes a long way with MAC blushes, so you don't want to like dip your brush in and end up having some crazy ass blush cheeks. So next I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to be going in with one of my favorite highlighters at the moment. And that's saying something, because I have a few. And it is the Becca Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop. Can we just look at that? Oh my goodness. And I'm going in with this Morphe little fluffy brush. And I'm just going to be placing that on the tops of the cheekbones, above the arch of the eyebrow, lip, and down my nose as well. Because we lack that highlight. That's what I'm about. I'm about that highlight life. This is like the dumbest thing ever, but I just really wanted to mention it. I have this weird thing when I get new products, I have to keep the box, and I don't know why, because like, why do I need the box? It's got a case, it's got packaging. But literally, I'm gonna put this back in the box. And I'll probably keep doing that for like the next year or something. Okay, now we're gonna start working on our eyes. I wanted to go for sort of more of a neutral pinky, but now I kind of don't really know, so we're kind of just gonna wing it. But we're gonna dip into our Z palette, and we're gonna go for some Makeup Geek eyeshadows. And we need a brush, hang on. And I'm gonna be taking these two shades and just mixing them together. This is, I believe it's Peach Smoothie and Beaches and Cream. So I'm just gonna mix those two shades together, and that's gonna be our transition I cannot talk. That's gonna be our transition shade. So we're gonna be placing that in the crease and just blending upwards. I'm just gonna blend till my heart's, you know, satisfied, and blend all the way up to the eyebrow. Just blend, you know? I don't know how people do their eyes, but I always do like one step on each eye and keep going back and forth. But some people do like one full eye, and then they'll go into the other eye and do the other full eye. And I don't know why, but for some reason, like I do one step, so I'll do like one shadow and blend it. And then I'll do it on the other eye and blend it. Just because I like to make sure that they're even. And I find that when I do a whole eye and I try to do the whole other eye, it's like 10 times harder just to make them look symmetrical. Just with this Real Techniques, what is this? Base shadow brush. It's fluffy and slightly angled. I'm going to be using my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, and I'm going to be taking this shade right here, and I'm going to be taking that just through the crease just to give it more definition, and just blending it out. This brush isn't blending it as well as I hoped. I'm going to take this Urban Decay Vice brush that I got with my Vice palette and just continue blending. So to make sure you really take that precisely in the crease, and then you're going to blend it up. I'm also going to take another shade from the same palette, and it's just this dark brown one on the end here. And I'm just going to run that through the crease more just to give it some more depth and just darken it up a bit, and on the outer corner as well. So now with a clean, fluffy blending brush, it's so hard for me to say and I have no idea why. This one's by Sigma and it's the E25 blending brush. We're just going to blend out the edges of the eyeshadow just to make sure that it blends nicely into the skin and there's no harsh lines. Now taking this Morphe flat shader brush, I'm going to use the shade Grandstand by Makeup Geek, and it is one of their foiled eyeshadows. And I'm just going to, I'm going to spritz my brush as well, just to give it that real metallic effect. And I'm just going to just place that all over the lid. So we're just gonna, once you have it on your brush, just gonna place it in the area where we haven't placed any other shadows. That's just sort of the middle of the lid. Now with the other end of that Urban Decay Vice eyeshadow brush, it's kind of like a flat shader, but sort of more dense. I'm going to run some of the eyeshadow underneath my eye on my lower lash line and blend it out as well. I'm just going to take this dark chocolate brown and mix it with a little bit of that warm brown again. Mix the two and just place that in the outer corner of my lower lash line. And just blend it into the slight cat eye that we have going on here. So just sort of halfway, because we're going to be taking the Grandstand shade and putting that in the inner part and blending it out. Just with the same brush, I'm just going to take Grandstand and put that on the inner portion of the lower lash. With our Sigma blending brush I've been using to blend the crease, I'm also just going to blend out the lower lash line. I'm taking this shimmery shade down here and I'm just going to place that on the high points of my brow bone and also in the inner, inner corner of my eye. Just going to spot it there and then I'll blend it out as well. Just spotting it. And just blending it down. Using my L'Oreal Paris Brow Artist Plumper in medium dark, I'm just going to run this through my eyebrows because those bad boys are sticking up in all different directions, just to tame the brow hairs and keep them in place all day. This product goes on quite thick. I really need to get a clear brow gel because it annoys me. So if you do have this product and you're trying it out, try going in with a lighter hand because it can come out quite clumpy like that. Moving back to our eyes, I really want to smoke out that lower lash line. So I'm just taking this Maybelline Master Liner Kohl eyeliner, just in black. And I'm just going to line my waterline. Before I apply my mascara or do anything else to my eyes, I like to put some glue on my eyelashes just because that allows it, you know, to get tacky and you don't have to sit there waiting for ages. So while you're doing your mascara and stuff, you can let the glue dry. I'm using the House of Lashes Clear Lash Adhesive. That just went everywhere. Great. And I'm also going to be using these Mankias Red Cherry Lashes. I really forget what the style is. I'm really sorry. I think they might be the 415s, but I just could be totally wrong. So yeah, I really need to get some new lashes. I'm just going to go in with the little thingamajig and just line the lash line in a really thin coat like so. If you're having trouble with the ends of your lashes sticking, like I used to always have that issue, what you can do is just apply a little bit more glue on the outer edge of the lash line, lash band rather, like not just to the end, but like see how I'm placing it like on the edge as well. That will help it just to stick that little bit better. So while they are drying or getting tacky, I'm going to just apply a thin coat of mascara. I'm going to use the Urban Decay Perversion mascara and just do a light coat on my top eyelashes. Once you have applied them to your top lashes, I'm going to go in with a different mascara for my bottom lashes just because I like it better. I don't know why. The brush on the Perversion is quite fat and I find it really hard to get into my lower lashes. So I'm going to go in with the Benefit Roller Lash because it has a thinner plastic wand and it's just a lot easier to comb my lower lashes. Now with a pair of tweezers, you can apply them however you would like to apply them, obviously. For me, tweezers just so much easier. I know people like to use their fingers and they find that a lot easier. I don't know why, I've just always loved using tweezers when applying false lashes, so that's what I'm going to do. And how I like to apply them is I like to place the tweezer in the middle of the lash band and then line up to my eye where I want them to sort of be placed. Go in like this and sort of place them where you need to. So stick down the middle and then stick down the edges. I'm going to use the MAC lip liner, lip pencil, in Whirl, just to line my lips. Now once I've lined my lips, I'm just going to go in with this MAC matte lipstick in the shade Taupe or Taupe, however you want to say it. And I'm just going to fill in my lips. And the final step, I'm just going to spritz my face just to set everything with this NYX Matte Finish setting spray. What that setting spray does is it basically absorbs all the excess powders you've put on your face and just sort of soaks into the skin and makes the skin look a lot more flawless, which is what you want. Thanks so much for watching. Like this video if you want to, because you can, I don't know. And hit subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me in the future. I really need to just film more. That was the weirdest sound ever. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!